Everyone, Paul from High Tech Legion, and welcome to your Legion. Today, I've got Wade here with me, and Wade, go ahead and say hello.
Hey everybody, I'm here with Paul, as you heard, and we're going to be talking about Grand Theft Auto 5 and some of the new features that they have in it, particularly with shadows. We'll talk about that in a little bit.
All right, well, basically what we're going to do today is I decided that I'm going to try something new for all of you, and believe it or not, unfortunately, I can't even see the broadcast in the panel. Evidently, I don't have a plugin installed in the right one, but what I decided to do today is go ahead and let's do some benchmarking of the new PC game, which is Grand Theft Auto 5. As you can see behind me here, I've got things set up right now. What I have is I have two technically identical systems. They both have 8 gigabytes of RAM, which are Corsair RAM, both 2400, and they have the same settings. One happens to be a Devil's Canyon, and one happens to be a 4770K. Now, what I did with that was I went ahead and I shut off the turbo on the 4790, just made it straight 4 gigs. And on the 4770K, I technically overclocked it so it'll stay at 4 gigs also. So now we're running two technically identical systems. One has an Asus motherboard, one has an MSI motherboard in it. If you like, a little bit later, I'll go ahead and show you guys some of the CPU-Z stuff so you know that I'm not lying to you. Other than that, I'm going to go ahead and get a few things set up. Right now, we're going to do the 980, the GeForce GTX 980 versus the 290X, which is actually an AMD card. It is the Asus card that I'm using. It's a stock 290X against a stock GTX 980. Then later on, we'll follow that with a Sapphire 290, and that will go against the MSI GTX 970. And then we'll follow that with the Sapphire 280X. And that will go ahead and compete against the EVGA 960. So we'll take a look at it. I'm not gonna run anything in 4K today. As you can see, I've got two monitors. They're identical monitors. They're Asus monitors, 24-inch. They're both 1080p monitors, so we're gonna be running the games in 1080p. I'm gonna crank up all the eye candy. I'm gonna crank everything up, do what I need to do to get each of the games exact, and we're going to run the benchmarks and watch the benchmarks live. I haven't run both cards yet. I did a little bit of testing last night with a couple NVIDIA cards just to see what was going on, but I have not compared these cards yet. So your guess is as good as mine as what's going to happen with these benchmarks. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to let Wade talk. Oh, see, I already had a system crash on one system. Hey,
Yeah, gotta love it. Sad face.
that's what happens when you're doing stuff live. So I'll go ahead and get set up. I'll let Wade take over for a little bit, and he's going to talk a little bit about a couple different things that are in this game. So I'll go ahead and turn the screen over to Wade. Go ahead, and I will go ahead and get everything reset up.
Hey guys, like you said, we were going to talk about shadows a little bit here, and one of the things with the shadows that are being offered with this, you may have seen it in actually, I believe Assassin's Creed. The latest Assassin's Creed had this built in it as well. This is NVIDIA's percentage closer soft shadows. And what their idea is with this is that the further away you get from the actual lighting source, the softer the shadow should get. That's basically it in a nutshell, but the way it works is pretty interesting. So the graphics card does a whole bunch of calculations on the position of the lighting, blocking, and things like that, as well as the darkness that the shadow should be and all the angles that you're at. So you get a dynamic shadow effect here. AMD also, of course, has a solution for this. It's called CHS. I'm sure you've seen that as well. I, for one, am not one that notices a lot of the shadows, but I know that if the effects weren't there, then the game would seem so much less realistic to me. So I really enjoy that they're trying to go the extra mile in making these shadows look realistic. Um, PCSS, like I said, percentage closer soft shadows. If you want to get a little more information, NVIDIA actually has a white paper on it, and that gives us a lot of information. So I'm going to pull that up just quickly to basically show you a couple neat little images, and we will just give me 1 second here. There we go. So what this does, this shows you a little bit the way it works. This is of course, a very rough rendition and rendering of an object, but as they say in the guide here, it has a complex interaction. So there's a lot of objects that have blocking and lighting and things like that, and you can see how the shadows kind of get softer on the left here on this object. But if we scroll down, the smaller light source, the shadows get quite a bit darker. And then even further, with a larger shadow, the shadows get much, much softer. So you can definitely see that there's a lot of interesting dynamic shadows here. If you actually scroll up a little bit further in this guide, and again, this is totally available on NVIDIA's site, so if you really want to read into some of the complex calculations like they have in here, you can definitely take a look at that. But this is what was really cool to me, was the diagrams of the light and the blocking and the receiver and where the eye is and everything like that, and how it's figuring out where the shadow should be, and the depth value. So it's making that calculation of the depth value of how far the object is away from the light to show how dark or how soft the shadow should be. Pretty cool technology. I'm definitely enjoying um, checking out all these different things, and I hope you also are going to enjoy the shadows. I've played Grand Theft Auto 5 a little bit and checked out the game, and it's definitely noticeable that there's shadows and reflections everywhere, as you would expect with car paint and everything like that. It's pretty shiny. So how are we doing, Paul?
Well, we're getting there. I got I got the other one up, and it's starting to run. So just give me a couple seconds here. I just have to get into the game.
Actually open up the game again. Yep.
Yeah,
Okay.
I've got to open up the game again, get it to run, and hopefully everything will work right. Hey guys, I do have something to say to you. Um, a few lucky people tonight who are watching are going to actually get a free game code for Ghost Recon Phantom. We're going to be having a little bit of a giveaway. We'll just pick people at random, and we'll go ahead and do that. So if you allow me to set everything up, I'll go ahead and bring my screen up so you can actually see what I'm doing. So if you allow me to bring everything up here, I will go ahead and do this while I'm talking to you. I'm actually launching the game on the AMD system. For some reason, this one doesn't. Fail to start game. App is already running. Okay. There we go. All right. So as I said, both of these systems are basically the same. I mean, the same memory, different motherboards, same processor speeds. Technically, the 4770K and the 4970 Devil's Canyon are just about the same chip. The Devil's Canyon is just got higher clock speeds on it, so there's really not that much difference in it. And I do want to say thank you. And as you guys can see, I'm wearing my new JBog shirt. We're going to be launching that campaign here shortly. And it's a new concept, basically what JBog is. And no, for you guys from Russia who keep on telling me that means I am God, it doesn't mean I am God. This is totally nothing to do with that. It's an acronym for just a bunch of guys, just a bunch of girls, just a bunch of gals, just a bunch of gamers, just a bunch of geeks. And basically, what the whole concept is that we are all just a bunch of, and we enjoy the technology, we enjoy what we're doing. So together, we are part of this legion as a bunch of people who have the same likes about technology. Um, yes, I'm probably going to start a campaign where maybe you guys might want to buy a shirt or something like that. I'm not sure about it. I did a little test on Facebook, so I don't think I got too good of a feedback, but hey, I will definitely try it. So let me go ahead and turn around again. And as you can see, this one is actually loading.
Per
Go
yeah,
ahead, Wade.
personally, I really like the concept of JBog. You know, we really are just a bunch of people who enjoy games, techs, and guys, gals, doesn't really matter. You know, we all can enjoy the technology and enjoy gaming if you really like entertainment. And in all honesty, I find gaming to be a very cheap form of entertainment compared to going to the movies. Even you get 2 hours of entertainment out of a movie, cost you 30 something dollars to go with your significant other, girlfriend, child, whatever. Spend $50 on a game and sometimes get 40 plus hours.
Oh no, I'll agree. I'll agree with you there. So technically, guys, as I'm going through this, I'm trying to talk while I'm setting everything up here. So please don't mind me. Um, Basically, the game has an in-game benchmark, and that's what we're going to run. So I will go ahead and try to zoom in the camera just a little bit, so hopefully you could get a better look at the screen. Now, what I will do in a second here is I'm going to actually shut some lights down, so you could, yeah, I know. Look at my stomach, right? But I'm going to shut some lights down so you can see these screens a little bit better. I got to take off my headset to get over to the other side there. So hold on.
That's what happens when you blow your shoulder out doing exercise, you know.
Okay, now I'm totally in the dark here. Let's see if I could get something decent on these screens. Come on, autofocus. Well, in any case, I'm sorry if it's not autofocusing correct. We are working on it. Please stand by. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to set the settings for both games exactly the same, so nobody thinks that I'm doing anything wrong here. We have a resolution of 19 by 1080, and I'm going to click apply changes on that because this is a 19 by 10 screen, not a 19 by 12. All right. Aspect ratio is auto. Refresh rate is 50 hertz. Output monitor is 1. FXAA, we're going to go ahead and shut that off. MSAA, we're going to turn on. We'll make that, let's make that 4 times. VSync is going to get shut off. And as we scroll down here, pause game on focus loss is on. Population density is all the way up. Population variety is all the way up. Distance scaling is up. Texture quality is very high. Shader quality is going to be high. Shadow quality will be high. Reflection quality very high. Reflection MSAA will keep off. Water quality we will go ahead and keep on high. Particles quality, actually, let's see if it'll go very high. There we go. Let's change water quality to keep that high. Shadow quality will keep on high. Particle quality, grass quality, normal, soft shadows. Now, this is what Wade was talking about, was the soft shadows. With the soft shadows, we have our choices between softest AMD CHS and also the NVIDIA PCSS. We're just going to go ahead and keep it on softest. I don't want anything skewed for either card. Post FX very high, motion blur strength. We'll just keep that on its default, and depth of field is going to be on. Anisotropic filtering is going to be X16. Ambient occlusion is high. Tessellation is going to be high. All right, so that's going to be our settings. I will click yes on this one. Now, this one here that I'm working on right now to our left is actually the AMD system. Now we're going to change the settings for the NVIDIA system to the same thing. MSAA on. We're going 4 times. TXAA is off. VSync is going to be off. Pause game loss, population density, variety, and distance scaling are all going to be the same. Texture quality is very high. On this one, I have the shader quality very high. So let me just double check what I have here. Let me get back into, there we go.
You know, one thing I forgot to mention about the PCSS, what they found in the testing is that performance-wise, even though you're getting more realistic shadows, you're really only maybe losing less than a frame versus some of the other solutions or the soft shadows and things like that. So that's definitely something to keep in mind, is the way they've figured out their processing, they've been able to optimize it so that you're not losing performance too.
No, that's a good thing to mention, Wade. Let me go ahead and turn yours. Well, actually, I want these guys to see this, so I'm actually going to, maybe they could get a better view, at least if I zoomed it out a little bit. So
actually, the screens were easier to see with some of the lights on, surprisingly.
They were.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So let me go ahead and put the overhead on and tell me what you got. Is that?
Oh yeah, much better.
Okay.
I can see the GTA online.
Okay, good. All right. So I'm going to go into story mode here and load the story. Let me get back into full screen mode. Let's go to settings, graphics, make sure none of the nothing has changed. All right. Off, on. Very high, high, high. Okay. All right. So I'm back into this. Let's hit escape. Go back into the settings. Go to graphics. All right. FXAA is off. MSAA is 4 times. VSync is off. TXAA is off. Now that's another thing that NVIDIA has in this game is the TXAA, which actually uses the MSAA, and it's a new way. It's also, if you guys know about the TXAA, it's it uses MSAA, and it's kind of the precursor to the MFAA, where NVIDIA uses MSAA and they texture it. And oh boy, I'm trying to do 2 things at once and I'm losing focus here. So, but basically what they'll do is they actually use their own overlay, and it doesn't take as much of a hit in performance if you were to use the, just say, straight MSAA 2x or 4x. Once you turn on the TXAA, it'll actually dither it a little bit better in that pixel box and give you better performance with the same amount of anti-aliasing. So technically that's how that works. So we've got texture quality, which is very high. Reflection quality. Okay, shadow reflection quality very high. MSAA reflection is off. Water quality is going to be high, very high on the particles quality. Grass quality is high. Let's put this one on high because I have the other one on high. I'll apply the change there. Yes. Oh my God, why is this doing it every time I hit the change? This wasn't doing this earlier when I tested it out, guys, so.
Of course not. It never does that.
All right. So we're set with both of them. I have everything set for both. Let this finish booting up, and then we'll get into it, and we'll start running the benchmark again. Like I said, I'm sorry. Hey, Wade, why don't you go ahead and let's see. Let me see who the first person in here was, and I will pick somebody to actually win a game code. How's that sound? All right, let's see. Is Ivy Nat in here? Is she still here? Go ahead and
yeah.
Is she still here? Yes,
Yes.
she is.
Yep.
Okay, go ahead and give her a code. She was the first one in. Nat, go ahead and send an email to review@hightechlegion.com, and we will go ahead and send you a game code, okay? All right. I'm getting ready to go ahead and run the benchmarks. And while we run the benchmarks,
Yeah, what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep track of the winners, and at the end we'll send them out.
okay, that's good. All right. So we have everything side by side, everyone, and I'm going to kind of step out of the way here. Do you think if I zoomed in, it would get a little bit clearer, Wade? You tell me what you think. Is that clear?
I think it's actually clearer zoomed out a little bit.
Okay, let's go ahead and zoom it out. All right, now remember, the system on this side is the AMD system. The system on that side is the NVIDIA system. I'm going to go ahead and hit the tab button simultaneously to start the benchmark. Hopefully you can see it because it actually puts the numbers down here. Okay. At this present time on the left, we have the AMD running about between 50 and 60, and the NVIDIA is running between 70 and 75. There are actually 5 different scenes. There's 4 of them that run for 10 seconds, and then there is one that runs for 120 seconds. What we will do is we'll go ahead and show the benchmarks. We'll actually use the 120-second benchmark because it will give us a better feel for how it actually performed. These 10-second benchmarks, if I were to go ahead and try to average them out, there's some type of an algebraic equation that is really a pain in the neck to figure out. It's like pi square r times 3 times the square root of the hypotenuse of v equals. So I'm not going to try to play that. Oh man, the AMD system stopped working. That's not good. All right, let's go ahead and close the program on the AMD. I'm actually going to hopefully it'll rerun. Sorry about this, guys and girls. Like I said, when it's live, you don't know what's going to happen. I mean, I tested both systems earlier and they ran fine. Now I'm having problems with one of them. And
we got Richard here who said, I just dropped in to see how many times GTA 5 crashes. So clearly it's been an issue with the game, probably.
I, it only seems to be crashing on the AMD system though. That's the whole problem. So I don't know what to tell you. All right, I'll go ahead and start this benchmark again. The other one's almost done, but I'll go ahead and start this benchmark again. And wait, I'm going to go ahead and step away for a second. If you want to talk to the guys, I've got something that I want to go ahead and get. All right.
All right, sounds good.
All right.
Yeah, he's definitely running the 15.4 drivers for AMD, and I know he's got the most up to date for Grand Theft or for NVIDIA because they released a brand new one just to support Grand Theft Auto better. So, what's the square root of 3 inches? Yeah, we don't really want to know about that, Peter. Wow. I have to say the little bit of time I've spent with the game, I've enjoyed it incredibly. It's true somewhat to Grand Theft Auto. You can pretty much smash anything you want, take anything you want, and fun to just mess around in without too much thinking.
All right, I'm back. Well, the AMD is still running. The NVIDIA has stopped running, so I'll go ahead and actually exit out of the game on the NVIDIA side. Oh, boy. Yeah, the AMD wants to run. All right, so I'll escape out of this. We'll go ahead and hit game, exit game, and let's actually see what the benchmarks were on this one. Hopefully, the AMD system will actually come back and run. And I am, as Wade said, I'm using the latest drivers. So if it's an issue with the drivers, I'm sorry, guys. It did work before, but I think what's happening is that 290X is starting to heat up pretty good. And so we'll go into documents and to Rockstar.
Is that the reference 290X you got running there?
Yes. Okay, so we'll go into benchmarks and we'll look at the latest benchmark. All right. So basically, and let me see if I could magnify this, but the 980 ran at 77 frames per second, where the AMD is still trying to catch up here, and I'm probably going to have to reboot the system on it. All right, so we have 77 frames per second. I know you guys can't see this on your screens, and I'm really sorry about that. But it's 77 frames per second on that one. And the AMD, whether it be the drivers, I'm actually going to go ahead and go back into the BIOS. I'm going to set everything to default, and hopefully that'll give us an opportunity to see a little bit of a change. So yeah, Devil's Canyon is going to be Devil's Canyon again. It's not going to be equal to the 4770. So we'll go ahead and change the BIOS here in a second.
Probably is not going to make too much difference in this game, anyways. I don't think.
No, I hope not.
Not super CPU intensive from what I'm seeing compared to some of the other things.
All right, I'm gonna go back into the BIOS. Let's go ahead and hit F5 to load the defaults. F5. Load optimized defaults. Okay. I just loaded the optimized default, so technically this is running at 4. It'll go to 4.4 on the it'll go to 4.4 on the turbo. So escape. Where's F10? F10. Click OK. So let's hit cancel there a second because I do need to put the XMP on, and we'll change that to profile 1.
Richard was wondering if it's this a reference 980 or.
Yes, I'm running reference to reference on the 980 and the 290X. They're both reference to reference technically. Now, when we get into the other cards will be overclocked cards. Richard, if you didn't see it, I have a Sapphire 290 Tri-X. I have a Sapphire 280X Vapor X, and then we have an MSI Twin Frozer 5 970 and an EVGA SSC 960. So those are the cards that will be competing against each other when we get into these other cards. All right, let's go ahead and see if that fixed the problem. I'm sorry if you can't see the on screen on that. I think the next time we do this, everyone, I'm actually going to record it with my camera, so all of you could actually see what I see. So instead of letting this upload to watch it later on, you could actually go ahead and see it in 1080 via my camera, so everything will be all right. It seems that my webcam doesn't want to work the way it should. All right, so we're back to regular settings on this. I could bring up CPU-Z just to show everybody. Hopefully you could see it. Okay. No. And yes, that was Bacino.
Dogs and children, right? They're the crazy ones.
Exactly. All right, so let's just make sure that this is on performance, hardware and sound, power options, high performance. Okay, so we're good there. All right. Okay, so now we're basically running the Devil's Canyon stock, and that's going to be on the AMD side. So everyone, just so you know, the AMD is running at 4 with a boost of 4.4. The NVIDIA is actually running at 4 gigahertz straight. So there's your difference. I'm sorry that it crashed with it the other way, but hopefully, I could verify the integrity here. It might take a long time though. This is over 100 gigs, this game. Richard, guess what? You just won a copy of Ghost Recon Phantom because I don't know. I just like the questions that you were asking. So go ahead and send review at High Tech Legion an email, and we will go ahead at the end of this broadcast send you a key for Ghost Recon. SWO gotta go. He said Devil's Canyon will not be identical. Well, overclock it. Well, okay, SWO. What we had prior to this, I had them both set up to just run at 4 gigs. That was it. Now what I did was it would take me another 10 minutes or extra 5 minutes to get the other one to actually boost to boost. So we'll just leave it at this because I'm going to have to change out video cards here shortly anyway. So, but in any case, for that question, Wade, go ahead and give SWO gotta go a key for the game.
Absolutely.
SWO, go ahead and send an email to review at hightechlegion.com. We will then, at the end of this broadcast, go ahead and send you a key code for Ghost Recon. And believe it or not, and it's actually okay. We got it. I'll come back to that in a second. All right, we're gonna go ahead and watch. We're gonna go ahead and watch the AMD card benchmarking, and I'll hopefully it'll get through the thing, and we will actually get some numbers here. So. And while I'm doing that, I'll go ahead and shut this off so maybe you could get a clearer view of it. So I'm watching it in the broadcast, Wade, and it looks a lot clearer than it looks to me when I'm looking at it through Google Hangouts.
I would agree. It definitely looks better in the broadcast.
Okay,
So.
well, thank God for that. At least something's working, maybe.
Yeah, you know, that people keep talking about 46s and P2s and P3s, and I'm just loving that old time talk about classic processors.
Man, P2s. I remember the well, I remember the 286s and the 386s. I first started out with I guess it was a Commodore VIC-20, and then I went to the Commodore 64. From there, I went to a Tandy, believe it or not, and then I started building my own computers. So it's been quite a long time that I've been doing things. And yes, SWO, that is a Haswell. Both of them are actually Haswells. Does GTA have Mantle as well? As far as I know at this time, no, it does not have Mantle support. Basically, what's going on with this game is it's an NVIDIA sponsored game, so it probably will not have Mantle. Maybe when DX12 comes out, they might have a patch or something for it, and hopefully that will fix the problem. But other than that, no, it does not have Mantle support for it.
DX12 is going to be a very interesting game changer, I think, don't you?
I think so, because you're getting your low level APIs. It's going to take a lot of the CPU bottleneck away from everything, and it's just going to be I've seen demos of it, but then again, you're looking at demos. We don't know what's going to happen once they start implementing them in games, how the performance is going to be. But I could definitely say it's going to be a game changer, and the developers that I've spoken to recently seem to enjoy it and like it. It's fairly easy to work with. But I do feel that if it does take off, I, I'm I, I'm not trying to sound like the devil's advocate here, but if DX12 works, why would somebody develop a game in Mantle if DX12 is going to do the same thing that Mantle's going to do? That's what I'm looking at. So it could go either way. I mean, AMD, they sunk a lot of money into Mantle, so maybe they'll keep it. But
yeah, it's kind of interesting because Mantle kind of did a lot of stuff that DX12 does as well, and I think DX12 is really going to be how well the developers take advantage of the new API, how well it does.
Let's see what somebody just asked if there's a bad install with the AMD. No, there's not a bad install. Actually, it was working fine earlier. It seems to be working now that I actually boosted the Devil's Canyon processor back up. I am running single channel RAM because I didn't have I thought I had another set of identical RAM here, but I only had one set of my Corsair RAM, so both of them have one stick of eight gigs. So,
yeah.
All right, that just finished running, so I'm going to go ahead and click yes to get it to stop, and let's see what the numbers were on the AMD system. Okay, so 68.5. So battle of the flagships, I guess, right now. The NVIDIA won by what, 2 frames, or was it 70? Did I say 70, Wade?
Yeah, it was like 77.
77? Let me double check it again. All right, so in the battle of the flagships, it looks like NVIDIA has beaten the AMD system. And
Now, what do you think about the price difference in the cards, though? I mean, some people were saying, some people, of course, were saying, you know, the 290X beats the 980 in price, you know. So,
well, let's look at it this way. The 290X has been out for quite a while. If you remember when it first came out, you couldn't get your hands on it for under 700, sometimes $800 because of all the Bitcoining. So, yeah, the price has come down because it's an older card, and yes, we've got the 390 coming out. So that's going to be interesting to see where that's going to fall. Is it going to fall in line with the 980? Is it going to fall above the 980? And is that going to force NVIDIA to launch that rumored 980 Ti to compete with the 390X? I don't know. So we'll have to see where it is. But one thing I can say is it going to be a 4 gig model? Is it going to be an 8 gig model? Is it going to be a 6 gig model? What is that 390 going to be? So we'll just have to wait and see when that comes out. I'm fairly interested to see what AMD is going to do with their new thing. The only thing that I don't appreciate what AMD is doing is they're only having one brand new line of card, and that's the 390. And everything else is going to be just a recycle. So if you got a 290X, the 290X is basically going to be the new 380X. So I don't know. I don't know if you guys who actually have that are going to want to upgrade, but you know, you never know. So it actually looks like we got 77 frames on the 980 and 68.5 on the 290X. So that's almost a 10 frame difference between NVIDIA and AMD. I don't know. Do I see RR play in that chat room?
you do.
I do. Peter, do you have a webcam? I'll send you a link. I want you to come in. I want you to talk to your pals here. Let's get let's get the young cat on some video. If you want to go ahead and if you have a webcam, just go ahead and type in there and say, "Hey, I got a webcam." I'll send you the link. You can come into the Google Hangouts and talk to some of the cats yourself. All right. Now, next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and shut these down, and I'm going to change out to the 970 and the 290. I know I'm trying to make this as quick as possible, guys. I'm not trying not to bore anybody. I don't know if you enjoy listening to me talk, then that's a good thing. But I'm gonna go ahead. While I do this, I'm gonna go ahead and let. Whoa. All right, there it goes. It focused.
Yeah.
All right. So next up is the Tri-X, which is going to go in the AMD system, and the Twin Frozer 970 from MSI. All right, I'll switch it over to your screen, Wade, and go ahead and I don't care. You want to show pictures of your daughter? That would be great.
Yeah.
Because I got to take off my headsets.
You got to take off the headset, yeah, because you got to pop the side panel. So
side
that's
panels are off. I just have to. I have everything set up so I can try to clear them out as quickly as possible. So
all right. Nice.
wait, it's just that this one system that I have a couple screws that I got to pull out because the video card droops a little bit too much when if I don't screw it.
All right. Well, Paul's definitely changing out those cards. What other questions you guys might have about upcoming products? Of course, whatever we can discuss. The XFX double, yeah. XFX is an interesting brand, don't you think? They definitely seem to have a big market in with AMD, and one thing that I kind of turned me off from them is when they changed their warranty policy. Windows 10 is an NSA botnet. Well, so is your cell phone. Pretty much anything you do in this world is recorded. I forget how many times a day on average we're recorded, at least in the USA, on video. Um, but it's a pretty huge number when you're just walking around a city and things like that, because you figure there's cameras everywhere. So I'm not too worried about Windows 10 being an NSA botnet, because if they really want to get my information, they're going to get it anyways. Are they going to start coming with their own PSUs? Yeah, I don't think the GPUs themselves are going to start coming with PSUs attached to them. Yeah, Richard, I think everybody would love to get their hands on one of those gigabyte water force systems. Um, we saw it at CES, and it was pretty impressive what they did with that, with the 3 cards all cooled with a massive radiator on the top of the system. Yeah, Keith's got an XFX R9 295X2. Nice. Gotta love those cards that are pre-water cooled. Of course, then you have our lovely people like George, who are more into the building the stuff themselves, and they really enjoy the, I call it risk, but the thrill of pulling apart a graphics card and putting your own block on it and everything like that, and getting your tubing running. Of course, I'm not very experienced myself with putting custom loops together. People who are don't have any problems with it, obviously. They know how to leak test everything real well. I think our friend George definitely knows how to take care of those things.
What a pain in the flipping. Never mind.
Oh, well, of course, we'll give you a shot of Paul swearing under the table at at his systems changing out the graphics cards.
This MSI card, the connectors are upside down because of the way that the heat sink is, and I had to pull to get it out. All right, that worked. All right, MSI's back up.
All right, looks like we got Paul almost ready with the two systems.
Back up. AMD will be coming back up shortly.
The custom the cover off of one of the XFX cards you got there, Static FX. All right.
All right, they're both booting back up, so we're getting there. We are getting there. All right. The NVIDIA I'll have to reset it because as soon as it comes back on, it's going to want to be restarted because I didn't change the drivers out. So I'm going to let it automatically adjust for the drivers. The AMD usually doesn't have that problem. So hopefully that'll be fine. Maybe I'm a liar about it. Come on, AMD, turn on. No, I got a black screen on it. It doesn't want to detect the
HD,
new.
HDMI, right?
Yeah, no, it's HDMI. It just
Yeah.
doesn't want. It doesn't want to detect the card. Let me restart it. See what happens. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
getting.
Every once in a while, I just have to pull the HDMI cable and plug it back in, and sometimes it works.
I,
You know,
mean, I
you
know
got
that.
you got something at least.
Well, yeah, it'll go through the boot screen. It'll go to Windows, but once it hits, it doesn't want to initialize the graphics card to come back up. Which is a pain in the neck. I don't think I'm ever doing another live thing again.
Well, maybe not with
Uh,
multiple card benchmarks.
all right, AMD is up. All right. Okay, now why did the NVIDIA, when I rebooted it, not... It's going to play these games with me now.
Yeah, like they didn't reinstall their driver real quick.
It usually reinstalls the driver. It usually does once it detects it, but for some reason it's not on either of them. Restart. Restart. Thanks for sharing, Wade. We appreciate that.
Jeez, I took the headset off and moved it about 5 feet away from my head too.
All right. Okay. We got one rebooting. We got the next one rebooting. I mean, I could always reinstall the drivers. That's not a problem. But I just I don't want to lose your guys' attention here, and it just doesn't seem to be running the way that it did during earlier tests. I mean, I've been doing this since about 8:30 this morning, believe it or not, just trying to make sure that this broadcast went okay. Oh man.
Looks like Richard wants to come into your broadcast.
Go ahead, let him in. As long I'll let you in, Richard, but I will tell you this much. No bad shit. All right? Go ahead and send him a link. We'll let him come in, and he's going to have to be a nice guy, and but we'll knock you right out if you don't. All right, let's install these again. All right. Well, if we have the same problem with the next one, I guess we'll stop. We'll just stop at the two. We'll just stop at the 970 and the two and the 290 here. Why am I on the M series? No, I don't want to be on the M series. I want to be on the 900 series. There we go. Okay, yes. All right. No, 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 no. I don't. No, 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 no. Start search. You got me. But in any case, oh, come on. Why?
Yeah, you gotta love it. It's fun.
Yeah, I know. We don't need the transcoding crap. All right.
All right, Richard. I sent you a link. Hopefully that will get you in.
Now remember, Richard, keep it PG-13, and if you come in and you start calling me names, that's it. We're done. Oh.
Yeah, start calling you Ivy or Zach or Slugbug.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I think it's time to give out another key code. Let's see. I'm just going to scroll up and down here and see who we got. And let me find a nice name here. To All right, Zach Smith. Guess what? We're going to give you a key of Ghost Recon. Go ahead and send an email with to review@hightechlegion.com, and we will go ahead and send you a key code after the broadcast is over.
Hey.
And for those of you who really, really, really will hang out, I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do. See this card that I have in my hand? It's pretty heavy. I'm going to do a random draw at the end of the video, and whoever hangs around will be entered into winning this right here. It's an MSI GeForce GTX 780 Lightning. It's a fairly good card. I only used it for benchmarking, so it's never been in a system before except for me to benchmark it. Okay, it looks like Richard's here.
Yep.
Richard, can you talk? We can't see you. Oh,
how's it going, guys?
Hey.
All right, man. How are you?
Doing pretty well. Having fun watching this stream. I had to mute myself in the stream because I was getting all that interference there.
Gotcha. Well, it's nice. It's nice to have one viewer here. I mean, hopefully, you don't start calling us names and telling us that we don't know anything about tech or something like that, because that's how it's been going recently. We've been getting a lot of trolls been telling us we don't know anything. So, I mean,
nah, you probably got one of the nicest guys. Your pleasant little community here.
Well, that's cool, man. That's really cool. So, tell us a little bit about yourself. Do you have a webcam or no?
I do have a webcam, but I'm not sure if my internet will allow me to broadcast. I can try here. Let me see.
Well, I think the guys and girls would like to see you and say hello. And all right, let's see. I got this.
You'd be surprised. Google Hangouts compresses down pretty well.
Yeah, it really does.
Yeah, well, my wimpy 2 meg connection. Yeah.
Where are you from, Richard?
Vermont.
Oh, okay. Is it still cold up there?
I've got a foot of snow on the ground.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Holy crap. A foot of snow.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I'm heading to the mountain tomorrow actually to go snowboarding for a full day.
There you go.
Oh wow. And it's April. Holy shit.
Yep. They're
Yeah.
actually going to they're going to be open till May.
Paul's in Florida, so he's enjoying the nice warm weather.
I'm enjoying the believe it or not, I'm actually enjoying the water right now. The water is probably about 82 degrees now, and it's only the middle of April, so it's not that bad. I mean, fishing's still good because the water hasn't hit about. Once the water hits about 86, then fishing sucks. But fishing's still good because the water's still cool. They're still in towards shore, but when the water gets hotter, they move farther out.
go deeper too. So
Yeah.
now I'm in Connecticut, so I'm just starting to enjoy the spring weather. Uh, right now it's probably about 40 degrees outside, but this afternoon it was almost 70, and I was loving it.
70 in Connecticut?
Mm-hmm.
Well, what do you know? Yeah. Okay, it looks like we got both of them going now. Thank God. All right. All right, we're going to go ahead and do the 270, which one was I doing anyway? We're going to go ahead and do the 290 versus the 970 here in a second. All right, I'm going to go ahead and bring up the games here. And say one thing you'll notice there, Richard, there's about a minute delay between what you're hearing now because you're actually in the Hangout and what you actually see on the video. So why don't you go ahead and you're on TV now, Rich.
Go
So
Army.
why don't you go ahead and talk to guys? Tell them who you are. Tell them what kind of system you got, and let's do this because we're like I said, we're just a bunch of guys. We all have the same passion for this stuff. So I'm sure that they want to hear you say something.
So, let me actually X out of this stream here. If you guys notice my voice stuttering at all, just let me know, and I'll cut off the webcam. How do I sound?
You don't sound that bad. Every once in a while, you get a little bit of a shudder, but it's okay. I mean, that's fine.
Well, so I guess I started with computers probably like 5-6 years ago. I work in construction with my father, and we finished a good-sized job, and I decided I wanted to upgrade from my single-core Pentium 4 at 2.4 gigahertz on 1 gig of DDR RAM, and so I picked up myself a 2500K and GTX 560 at the time. That was the card, and everything escalated from there. My addiction began. Since then, I've had multiple cards. I've built multiple computers for people in my family.
Mm-hmm.
I now have a i7 3770K that I delidded and applied new paste between the die and the heat spreader.
Really?
Which turned out really, really good. That was really scary because I was really scared to put my $350 processor between a vise and a piece of aluminum and a hammer, but it turned out really well.
One thing
And
that's good about those is Intel's gone with the pinless chips. That kind of helps for
yeah,
sticking it in the vise.
yeah, I couldn't imagine trying to do that with like an AMD chip with having to deal with the pins. I mean, it's so easy to damage those pins on those AMD or the older Intel chips.
Absolutely.
Yes. Okay. I am actually just about there, everyone. I'm just going through the settings to make sure all the settings are still the same from before. Checked one. Now I'm checking the other one. So it's pretty good. So how long have you been building your own systems there, Richard?
Well, probably about 6 years was as far as building like systems where I actually went out and bought the components. But
Mm-hmm.
before that, I would always tinker with computers and take them apart, mess with them.
Okay.
Um, I always liked them. I always liked figuring out what was wrong with them,
Mm-hmm.
and having that challenge of being able to fix it.
I got you. Okay, well, hey, you know something? That's how we all got started. When I got started, I was actually using, well, what the heck was I think it was a Radio Shack Tandy. I'm laughing and I just swallowed my own spit. Okay. It was a it was a Radio Shack Tandy, and I did something to it, and I can remember. I think it was like I had to change the RAM or something, and I think if I remember correctly, we weren't even talking. We were talking like 1 meg or 1 meg sticks of RAM back then, and it probably cost me $150 to $170 for like a meg. It was ridiculous. So I just basically from there on I just started building my own stuff just so it would be a little bit cheaper for me because of course where did I go back? I went back to to the idiots at Radio Shack to go and get it fixed, and it cost me $150. I could have probably bought it for $35 maybe, who knows, but you know. But yeah, that's basically how I got started. And so, it's usually always something to where you want to get that, you want that change, and something happens, whatever experience it's going to be, and that's when you start really getting into it and building your own stuff. All right, Rich, I'm going to go ahead and take this screen back, and I've got it set up, and we'll go ahead and watch these benchmarks. All right, everyone, we have the 970 in the NVIDIA system. We have the 290 in the AMD, so I'm going to go ahead and hit that and hit this. So we'll run these benchmarks simultaneously. Hopefully this time it doesn't crash on us.
Yeah, I think probably just evening out those processors just kind of helped that.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, I think it's more due to high volume comment loading is disabled. Click here to continue loading. Okay, there we go. Hey, I like that. We got a high volume of comments. All right.
Yeah. Good stuff. Lots of good conversation going on back and forth.
All right. So, well, I think the only difference is I've got a really old SSD on the AMD system, and I have a newer SSD on the NVIDIA system. So as you can see, it's loading a little bit quicker on the NVIDIA side, but that's not going to make a difference.
Not once it gets going with the game. Yeah. It's just loading the files into memory.
So you're going to go...
Me. Oh my God, now they're talking about Windows Me.
Oh, crap.
Yeah, that's it. I'm gonna leave now.
that had to be RR Play starting that one, right? I'm gonna guess.
I think it was Sluggo.
Oh my God, Sluggo! Come on now. Now you're really showing your age.
No.
Well, we were talking about 95, but then it kind of escalated from there.
I already showed my age. I was talking about DOS.
So. Oh well, yeah, DOS is, I can remember, like I said, when I first started, and I guess, oh man, I think I had to be in like 7th or 8th grade when I got that VIC 20. Maybe even in 6th grade, I don't remember. I mean, that's how long ago it was, and I'm 49 now, so geez, I just can't remember. But I could remember the best thing in the world was me making my name go up and down the screen. I forget the syntax. I mean, of course, if I were to sit there in front, I could remember it. And you hit run, and your name would go up and down the screen, and you could make it bounce from corner to corner. I mean, I thought I was like this computer whiz. And then somebody told me, wow, but you know something? You could make it remember this if you buy a tape drive. And I went out and, I begged my mother to buy me this tape drive, and all it was like a cassette player that you hooked up into the thing, and boy, was that loud. Oh my God, was that loud. But, then I started making programs I bought a little book to learn how to program games and stuff, and basically all you did was follow everything, put in the syntax. And I remember playing a game like it basically looked like Space Invaders on my computer, so I didn't have to go to the corner and play Space Invaders and pay a quarter every time I wanted to do it. Unfortunately, couldn't play Pac-Man though. That kind of sucked. Pac-Man was a little bit later, and then of course Donkey Kong. Um, Donkey Kong, had to be when I think I was a freshman in high school when Donkey Kong came out. But we used to actually play this one called Kongorilla, which I guess was by somebody else, but it was exactly the same as Donkey Kong. And there used to be like holes that you could find. There were black holes where you could jump through things, and you would skip through like 20 levels. So that was pretty cool. All
Yeah,
right.
right. That sounds like Super Mario Brothers in a sense. There was ways to skip levels with that.
Mhm. All right. So the NVIDIA has finished benchmarking. So let's go ahead into that, and I'll tell you what this one hit. So go into Rockstar Games. Come on. There we are. Okay. All right. So on this one, the 970 actually hit 70.9 frames per second. And then the AMD, let's see what our AMD system did. Hey, this one actually, after I got the drivers in, this one actually went a lot better than the last one. Okay.
Clean at least.
Yeah. Okay. So the 290 got 68.9 and the 970 got 70.9. So it seems that we're getting a little bit closer in numbers as we start going down the stack. So let's go ahead. I'll give you the comm, Wade, and I will go ahead and shut these down and
Do your third set of cards.
do my third set of cards, get them in.
Well, now
And
you're a pro at switching cards out, so it should take less time, right?
we would hope. We would hope.
Well,
Well, the problem is these Sapphire cards are gigantic
oh
because of
yeah.
the heat sinks on them, and it's a pain in the ass to get it in and out of this one case. So it takes me a little bit longer to get it in and out. All right, I'll go ahead and give you the screen, Wade, and
Yeah.
I'll go ahead and change out cards. There you go. You could talk to Richard there. Richard just being quiet.
You guys hear me, right?
Oh yeah, we can still hear you fine. Yep. So that's great.
Alright.
So
Yeah, I
so
changed my mic from my mic to the from the webcam to my headset.
nice, very nice. So Army shirt have any significance? Does your Army shirt have any significance?
Oh no, I couldn't quite hear what you said there.
Ah,
No, it's something I found at a clothing swap somewhere.
okay.
Um, no.
Or just funny.
My
It's just
father
funny
was
because
in the military, and so was my brother, but it has nothing to do with that
yeah,
or
it's
me.
just interesting because somebody was mentioning that delidding takes balls of steel, and I was like, well, he is wearing an Army shirt.
It actually says Army Tough on the back too, so.
Nice, nice. Now your 3770K is Army Tough, right?
Oh yeah. It is. It was a, and it was a. It wasn't just your standard 3770K either. It was I cherry picked it for the batch number. I did a lot of research on overclock.net and got the batch number that was from Costa Rica, and I've almost been able to get the chip to 5 gigahertz. I think I could, but I need something with my RAM. I'll get a blue screen of death. It's a memory error,
Okay.
memory allocation error, or something like that. And I've never been able to quite figure it out. So the
Yeah,
overclocking got
a,
stopped.
A lot of times with the memory can definitely cause some errors and make the machine go funky. Because all you need to do is get one bad little blip in the memory, and the system's not going to know what to do. Hey, Therial, yeah, I actually work in education. I am a IT person in the education field. Right now, I am a network manager. I used to just kind of be a break fix tech. Um, actually worked in a school building with over 1,200 machines and 500, 600 clients, plus the students, plus all the students and everything like that. So now it's a little bit bigger role because I'm supporting 10 schools, but I don't have to kind of fix laptops anymore. I get to do all the fun back end stuff and oh, we got to get this out to all these computers. How do you do it? So you mentioned that you work in construction, Richard?
I work in construction with my dad. He's a contractor, um, kind of a general contractor. We do pretty much everything. We live in a small town, so we're limited to what we can do, but we specialize in home remodeling and landscaping and stuff like that.
Cool. Yeah, yeah. I actually just put solar panels on my roof. So
Oh, very nice.
yeah, that was a fun little project because they had to
Yeah.
sister all the joists for extra support for the snow load, and then redo the roof, put the solar panels up. But yeah, no, I tend to I'm a homeowner, so I've learned how to do lots and lots of things. And my father worked in construction for 20 plus years, so I'm glad to have that resource like what you're dealing with. If you got to work on something, you ask your dad, right?
Yep. Yep. And whenever we're out on the job, I always look for that customer who might need a little bit of computer work.
Absolutely. There you go.
You'd be surprised how many people I find that need some help, and
And you've
you
got
know,
the knowledge to give them,
yep.
so
And it's so much easier for them too. I mean, you'd be surprised how many people I help, and it's simple for them because they don't have to take their computer, unplug it, and bring it all the way down to the local computer shop.
yep. Especially if you're already there doing work on the house. So
Yep. Yep.
very good. About the solar panels there, actually they feed into my electric, and whatever I don't use actually feeds back out to the grid and comes off of my electric bill. So they don't just do my water heater.
Now you've got to get it to the point where the electric company starts paying you. That's what you want.
Yeah, basically, if I end up with producing more than I use at the end of the year, they do have to cut me a check, but that's not going to happen with the not with winter. If I didn't have winter here, it might happen. Looks like you're almost ready again for us, Paul.
I'm getting there. I am getting there. It's the AMD came right up. I didn't have to reinstall the drivers this time.
Yay.
NVIDIA is the one that's playing games with me right now.
Isn't it funny that it doesn't really matter what brand it is? They kind of still do certain things. I almost blame that on Windows.
Yeah. Okay. That's perfect. I'm gonna reboot the NVIDIA system just to make sure that the settings stuck.
That it's clean. Yep. Wow. G-Skill memory. Yep. That's actually what I'm using in my system too, is G-Skill memory.
It's good stuff.
Yeah. I specifically bought it because it was some of the lowest profile memory on the market at the time, and I didn't want to have to deal with any air cooler compatibility issues.
Yeah. Yeah. That's.
Go ahead, Richard.
um, when I built my system, I had a Cooler Master Hyper 212 Evo cooler on there, and when I first built it, I only had 4 gigs of RAM or 8 gigs of RAM, two 4 gig sticks, and I had to put them in the farthest slots over because the cooler actually covered the two or just the one slot closest to the CPU.
Hey, does
So
RR Play have a microphone that he could use? Sorry about that, Richard. I just wanted to see if Peter's a hoot, and I want the guys to meet Peter, because all you know him by the cat. But I wanted to maybe see if he wanted to come in and just say hello to everybody.
Yeah, true, because
While I'm setting up.
at least they can hear his voice. So looks like consensus is G-Scale and Guile RAM from a lot of the people in the channel.
Yes, like a headset, Peter. If you have one, I'll send you the link. You could come in and say hello to everyone.
They're egging him on, so you know.
so anyway, when I went to upgrade my RAM to 16 gigs, I ended up kind of having to get a water cooler. That's kind of what forced me to get an all-in-one water cooler because I couldn't get the other the other two sticks of RAM in there without, having it hit my CPU cooler. So it was kind of annoying that they, the manufacturers made it like that you could actually buy a CPU cooler that would interfere with your RAM. And it's fairly low profile RAM too. Like it's not like it's Corsair Dominator Platinum
Yeah.
RAM.
Yeah, so you definitely had issues with CPU coolers. But what's funny is I don't find that the heat sinks really do too much to keep the RAM super cool.
To the what do you call?
Absolutely. Um, definitely heat sinks on the memory, but the taller, just because they're taller doesn't mean they're going to keep it cooler.
Yeah. Yeah, I was seeing some pictures of the new DDR4 modules, and I was noticing how short some of them are, and I was really liking that.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely a good thing that RAM manufacturers are kind of pulling it back in a little bit. Um, they don't need to show their E-peen, with their heat sinks.
Yeah. Full embossed branding right on the side of the RAM.
Yep. Yeah, exactly.
And then after you're done with that, you have to put this massive double fan cooler on top of that RAM
Yeah.
with
I'm
their
using
logo.
I'm using a Phantix cooler, and that thing it's a massive tower with two giant 120 millimeter fans on it. Works great though because it doesn't get in the way of anything.
Yeah, I'm looking on Newegg right now. I'm just kind of laughing because Corsair Dominator Platinum 32 gigs, 4 times 8 gig sticks, 2400 megahertz memory kit. It comes with 4 sticks and 2 coolers because you're going to be using this obviously in an X99 setup. And for that setup, you're looking at over $1,000
In memory.
in 32 gigs of memory.
Yeah. Which I don't know about you, but the only people who need 32 gigs of memory are people who are producing videos.
Yep,
All right.
sure. Yeah, there's
like
absolutely no use.
real production video, as in movies.
Yep, absolutely no use for 16 gigs. I mean, 32 gigs.
Yeah. Yeah, I barely use my 16 gigs, so
MSA
16 gigs just puts it up there with the elite, the elite groups of PCs. Like if you have a high-end chip and a high-end video card, it only really makes sense to have 16 gigs.
totally.
I mean,
I really
you can go to Staples and pick up a up with 8 gigs of RAM.
absolutely. Very few of them have 16 gigs already in them. 64 gigs. 64 gigs is ridiculous theoreal. Well, unless I split that into two banks with the dual chip Xeon setup.
Good gosh. Let me check that hole in the bottom of my wallet.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, well, being a network manager, I get to play with servers, and that's always fun. Sometimes I've got some crazy stuff in it. Like one of our systems actually has like 15
Wow.
4 terabyte hard drives.
That's
Okay,
mad.
Normal. These things got to be off. MSA, UX4.
VMs, yes, virtual machines.
Off.
Virtual machines are fun.
Vsync is off. Okay, I got to get these both the same.
All right. Looks like you're just about ready there, though. Once you
I
get
am.
the same.
I am. Okay, why is the VSync on this one and the MSA off on that one? Okay. Normal. Very high. High.
Are they 120 hertz monitors or 60 hertz?
No, they're 120s, but
Yeah, so it probably wouldn't matter because you're not
yeah,
going to hit 120.
exactly. Reflection MSA off. Water quality high, very high. Whoa, what's
Exactly.
very high?
Ethereal. When you have to make
Okay.
installment payments on your RAM, you've got a problem.
For sure.
Okay, we're good. All right, I'm gonna apply the changes to this. Oh, let everybody see what the hell I'm doing so they know that I'm putting the same.
Yep.
All right.
I actually got control of the camera, so I've been flipping back and forth.
Oh, okay, there you go. That's good. Come on. I hit yes. Enter. Thank you. I do not know why the AMD system wants to reboot every time I make a certain change. Not reboot, but the game wants to restart.
Like restart the game, yep.
Yeah. Okay. All right, now we're doing the 960 versus the 280X.
This ought to be an interesting one.
Yeah. Well, you got to figure what the 960 is what, a 2 gigabyte card, and this is a 3 gigabyte card.
Mm-hmm. Definitely should be an interesting one.
Before running benchmark, okay. Oh, that's because it went into the story mode. Never mind. All right. Okay. So we're running both of them now. I'm kind of back in the picture. What's the matter, Peter? You didn't want to come in. You didn't want to come in?
I don't think he had his headset ready.
Oh.
I always have mine plugged into my computer, so.
Well,
these Kingston HyperX headsets are pretty clear, though, huh?
Yeah, I like them. They're not bad. They're not bad at all. It looks like so far we're getting about 42, 43 frames a second on the NVIDIA system. And hopefully the AMD system will start benchmarking here very shortly.
Yep.
There we go. Yay.
Gotta love that load time. Amazing, amazing what the faster SSDs do.
Yeah, I'm using a Kingston SSD in this one, and it's one of the very first probably a V100 or whatever the heck it was. And so,
Yeah, I, I got I've ended up putting a lot of my games on my hard drive just because they're getting so big. Like
this
this one.
is this over 100 gigs.
Yep.
I don't know how I'm gonna download this game. I have no clue. I've got a 256 megasecond real download speed connection, so
Yeah.
and my computer weighs like 55 pounds, so
Well, just start it one night and just let it go until it's done.
yeah, well, I could do that, but if I did that, it would probably take 2 weeks of that to finish it, because I can get about 7 gigs a night.
You know what though? If you can get it on Steam, you might be able to copy the files. If you download it somewhere else, you can just take the Steam files with you. The
Yep,
Steam's app
that's what I was
directory
thinking.
holds them all.
Yeah.
So if you got a friend who has a faster connection, you might be able to download it there and not not move your 55-pound rig.
Yeah. Yeah. No. Well, I'm kind of wondering how the hell I'm supposed to do this, but I've got to ship my rig all the way to Portland, Oregon this summer because I'm going to PDX LAN
Nice.
in Portland, Oregon.
Very nice.
So, plane tickets are ordered. I'm going. I've just got to make sure my computer gets there in one piece.
Packing foam. Take the packing foam and cut it to size and put it in between your graphics cards and the floor of the case and stuff like that to support them.
I'm taking my card out and I'm putting that in my backpack and I'm taking that on the plane. I'm taking my hard drives out. I'm taking my capture card out, SAM card out. All the stuff that could possibly
Snap
bend
off.
or flex. Yeah, snap off, and and then it should be pretty good. I'm going to put it inside the original shipping case.
Yeah,
because it's got the foam blocks for the corners and stuff.
Yeah, if you're taking the graphics card and all that stuff out, I think you'll be fine.
The only thing I worry about is the radiator mounted to the roof, because it's a 280, and I've got it mounted to the roof from the inside, and then I've got fans on the top, and then I've got long screws going through the top fans and into the radiator, but I'm not 100% sure on how far those screws go in, and I don't really think they go in too far, so
yeah,
I gotta make sure they're in there good enough.
If you pull your graphics card out, you might be able to get a piece of like the stiff foam and just put it right in your case.
Yep.
Put it right in your case, right up against that radiator, and just give it nice support. So if it bounces around a little bit, it's not gonna put pressure on those screws. That's what I would do personally. Because you're not, I mean, you're not gonna build a crate, ship a crate for $400.
Yeah. Yep.
It seems like you could see the NVIDIA screen better than the AMD screen. I don't know why. I got the brightness. I've got the brightness on same on both of them, but it just looks weird.
I think it's just the angle, probably.
Gotcha. Well, in any case, so as I said, as we went down the stack here, you saw that the AMD cards started gaining a little bit on the NVIDIA cards, and now we got the 960 versus the 280X, a 3 gigabyte card versus a 2 gigabyte card, and the conclusion is that the 280X got 58.9 frames a second, and the 960 actually got 50 frames a second. So in this case scenario, the 280X actually beats the 960. Now, I'm wondering if I should have ran the 280, because the 280 would probably be the closer comparison to the card. But I just wanted to kind of go down the stack with what NVIDIA has available compared to what AMD has available right now, and that's basically the reason why we did this. So, in conclusion, we technically got a 2-to-1 on NVIDIA. Uh, the the second benchmark that we ran, the NVIDIA card actually beat it by what, 2 frames per set, 2 frames, and so I mean you got a margin of error there. So let's call that one a wash. So let's call it 1-to-1, and really say that between both cards, the 980 definitely is the best performer out of them all. I was going to do a 4K with the GTX Titan, but unfortunately, one of my monitors is down, and I'm actually using a 4K monitor to use the webcam right now. But I will tell you, I ran 4K earlier, and the 4K actually, with everything basically cranked on the Titan X, it got about 26 frames a second. So in a sense, it's kind of, I mean, it was decent, but I tried playing the game and I noticed that there was a little bit of lag because, of course, it was under 30 frames a second. So it, even in 4K, you can't crank it. You're gonna have to, even though I know that NVIDIA has stated that the Titan will play very well with this in 4K, but it's not going to. You're not going to be able to use a lot of the heavy eye candy. You're probably going to. What I suggest doing is on your couple of the textures and the particles, go ahead and lower them to high instead of very high, and you'll get over that 30 frame mark. So then it'll become more playable. But per the benchmark with those settings, I was anywhere between the few times that I ran it between 22 and 25 frames a second. So that was the average there. I want to say thank you to everybody that showed up tonight. I know we went a little bit long. I didn't plan on having these problems, but when you're doing something live and you're benchmarking live, you do run into these situations. And maybe that kind of gives everyone an idea on what we go through when we have to benchmark these products on our own. When we actually get these products and we're sitting down and we're trying to test them and we're trying to go back and forth between the different cards to get our comparison benchmarks and stuff like that, you do run into some problems. And as you can see, we actually those problems actually occurred here. Wade, let's go ahead and give out a couple more game keys. Robin S., you get a game key, so please go ahead and send an email to review@hightechlegion.com, and we will send you a game key. Archimedes, do we give up one to Archimedes yet?
Nope, not yet.
Okay, Archimedes, you get one. Go ahead and send an email to review@hightechlegion.com, and we will give you a game key for Ghost Recon Phantom. And it looks like Tiz I Will is in here, so let's go ahead and give him one. Just do me a favor there, Tiz. Make sure you send it from a different thing that doesn't have the .in, because it'll probably go in my spam folder. Let's see who else we have. Let's see. Did we give MEI Gen one yet?
Nope.
Okay, MEI Gen, you get one. Go ahead and send an email to review@hightechlegion.com. We also have, is Johnny Storm still in here? Johnny Storm, if you are still in here, we're going to send you a game key. So please send an email to review@hightechlegion.com. And let's see, who else do we have in here? Go ahead and send one, give one to Static FX. And
Stack FX left. Yeah, that's funny.
And let's see. Yes, so Johnny Storm, make sure you definitely go ahead and send that email. All right. Who did I miss that's in here right now? Go ahead and type that in now. Of course, like I said, we're kind of on a minute delay, so it's going to take a couple of seconds. But what I'm going to do is I am going to.
Yeah. Also, just make sure you put your chat name in that you had in YouTube in the email.
All right, give Sneaky Gaming a key. The real Adam Merckx, give him a key. Ty 2010, give him a key. A Trained Dog, give him a key. Max Hugh, give him a key. Thomas Simard, give him a key. Did we give one to Zach Smith yet?
Yep. Yep. We got him.
Did we give one to our friend from Iceland, Values One?
Value's Valor 1.
Yeah, Values Valor 1. Go ahead, give him a key. All right. So I think that's oh, cool there, Adam. Whereabouts in Florida do you live? You got all the names down, right?
Yep.
Okay, thanks. Rich, you did get one too, right?
Yep.
Yep. Yeah, yes, Val, we're giving you one. All right, make sure you send us a everybody gets a car. Oh, it looks like
Does it come with delivery?
yes, exactly. All right.
I just want a pizza right now. I don't need a car.
Go ahead and give one to Dinsney.
Yes, yes.
And do electroshock too. All right, I think that's all the keys that we have now. All right, so who wants to win a GeForce GTX 780 Lightning?
Yep, right here. Yep, I'm here.
All right. Unfortunately, I know that we do have some people who live outside of the United States here. This one here, I've got to send within North America. So I'm really sorry, guys, who live overseas across the pond there, or in South America, etc. I would love to be able to do it, but the box is pretty heavy because there's a lot of crap that comes in this box. So I'm gonna have to definitely do it North America only on this one. The keys are for Ghost Recon Phantom, the new game, and I do want to say to everybody, say thank you to Mushkin for providing these, and also make sure you go to the Mushkin site on May 1st. They're going to have a great launch. They got a new product coming out. They want everybody to go there. Make sure you go to their Facebook site, their Facebook page, and visit them and give them a thank you for all this. And Hitler wouldn't want one, I would imagine. Oh my God, this is getting bad.
That's what happens when you talk
Deanne,
for almost 2 hours.
I think I'm gonna let my wife pick the winner. So let her get herself nice and duddied up here. You got to see the names so you could pick a name. I can't. It's on the screen. All right, but here is the card. And just so you guys know, um, whoever wins, just go ahead and send review at hightechlegion.com an email with your contact information. So, Wade, do you have everybody's name written down?
No.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
just
crap.
the ones with the keys.
Yeah, I know. I could random.org it. What I was thinking of doing. It's just that I've got to go ahead. Oops. I hit the wrong screen. All right, let's bring random.org up.
Here, let me
Mozilla
forward.
Firefox.
I'll forward you this to you, and that'll give you some idea.
All right, random.org. That's what I usually do when I draw stuff anyway. Okay, free services. Do 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 do.
Random thing picker. Yes, exactly.
Okay. Oh, wait, I can't because I don't have the email sit on the what do you
Oh,
call on this one? Do you want to do it? Go
yeah,
ahead
sure.
and why don't you go ahead and do it and put everybody's name, get everybody's name in there, and then just do a random. Okay, now listen. We're gonna put everybody's name in here. So even the guys that other than myself and of course Wade, but because this is going to be random and it's going to be live, and Wade, can you show your screen so when you do this that it shows who's being picked? Because there are I mean of course Slugbug and RR Play are part of High Tech Legion, but they are not review staff, so they don't get stuff. So I think it's fair, since they spent their time volunteering to come in here and kind of keep up with the stuff, that we do allow them to enter into this contest. So Wade, make sure that you put both of them in there,
All
and
right.
you do it on screen, and whoever's name comes up, you're there. Okay.
I'm putting them in an Excel document with a number, and I'm just gonna generate a number.
There you go. All right. So if you
So give me
do,
a give me a second, and
all right.
I'll get there.
Okay. If you do live outside of the U.S., remember this is going to be, well, outside of North America. So just remember, this is North America only. So please do tell us if your name does get randomly drawn, because we're putting everybody in here that you do live outside of the U.S. I might be able to do something for you if your name does come up. So it might be another game key, maybe in a few days or something like that, as a consolation, since you do live in Europe, or South America or Asia or wherever that might be. My mail got returned. Hmm. My mail got returned. Is it because you're a spammer there, Ty 2010? All right. Whose mail got returned back to them?
HITechLegion.com. You know.
Yeah, it's HITECHLEGON. HITECHLEGON.com. Yes, that is it.
I almost got the list.
You're good. You're really good, because I suck at that. It takes me like 90 hours to do it when I do it. That's what takes me so long sometimes. Oh, just if anyone who has won a prize at the Christmas contest, I just want to tell all of you I've recontacted all the manufacturers again to make sure that the prizes went out. I will say this, there is a strike going on out on the docks out in California. Things do get in slowly, but it might take a little bit longer than we thought. Those of you who live in Europe that have won prizes. I know that I think Hugo Gatto was in here yesterday trying to look and then probably forgot. But for you guys who live in Europe, the manufacturers, because of certain things, they're sending me the stuff. Some of you already got your prizes, but there are a couple manufacturers that a couple of you guys in Europe won prizes. They are sending them to me, so I'll be sending them out to you as soon as I get them.
All right.
Okay, so here we go. Just bear with us just a couple more minutes. Wade, go ahead, and you want me to put you on screen so you could show your screen?
Let's see if it'll let me do it. First, I guess I gotta show the Excel file so people can see the numbers.
Okay. Yeah, let's do that. All right, you're on.
All right. Do you see the Excel file there, Mr. Paul?
Yes, I do.
Okay. We got 1 through 22.
Okay.
All right. Now, let's get random.org up.
We haven't checked the email yet, but we will after the show's over. So
here we go. Random.org. So we're gonna generate max 22 numbers.
That's correct. Go ahead. You got Rich in there, right?
Yes, I do.
Okay, I just want to make sure because I know he's in here, so he's really not typing in there anymore. Uh-oh. Wade got kicked out.
Yeah, we lost him.
That went well.
Yeah, that really went well. There he comes. Here he comes. There he is.
That didn't work too well.
Would you hit the wrong? You hit the wrong number.
I hit the backspace and it went back on my web page.
Oh shit. Here, let me go ahead and put you up. All right, there you go, Wade. You're in.
You know what? I might have to do this in a different browser.
Okay. Go ahead and bring it up in a different browser. Dun, da, 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 Boom, 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 boom. Uh-oh, we went black again with Wade. Yep.
Oh, I'm here.
We can hear you, but we don't have your video, Wade.
You should see the screen.
Nope.
I see it. It's fine on my end.
Okay, there we go. Now we got your screen. We do have your screen. All right.
1 to 22.
All right, go ahead.
Here we go. 22.
22!
Oh, wow.
Who's number 22?
It's Slugbug.
What a number.
Who's 22?
Slugbug.
Really?
Yes. Oh boy. Let's see. Let's pull it up again.
Sluggo, do you really want a 780?
Why would he want that?
Okay, did you pull it up yet? Wait. Let's see you number 22. 22 would be Slugbug.
Yeah, here we'll do this. Screen snipping. Boom.
Yes.
He's freaking out right now. You know that.
Yeah, I know he's freaking out. I guess he wants it. All right. Hey, everybody. I want to say I want to say thank you so much for joining us tonight. Sorry that things didn't go without a hitch, but that's what happens when you're live. I want to say thanks to Rich for joining us in the chat, and it was nice talking to you, Rich. So to Wade, thank you. We went a little bit longer than we thought we were going to be going.
It's bedtime.
Yeah, it's definitely bedtime. Wow. So I want to say thanks to everybody for joining us. And remember, again, hashtag JBOG. We're all just a bunch of. So you girls, just a bunch of gals. You guys, just a bunch of guys. All us gamers, we're just a bunch of gamers. All us geeks, we're just a bunch of geeks. We're all here for one reason, and that's because we love the technology and we enjoy doing this, and we are a community. Just remember that, and have a great night. Stay thirsty, my friends. Bye-bye.